Hello, this is Hero again. Well, what happened this about 4 or 5 days ago? We had 10 days of record heat. Well, we were not supposed to have that heat late in August into September. Normally, September starts to cool down, but this year it got really, really hot. I mean, up to 114 degrees. And what I thought I'd do in this chapter is to show you what happened to my plants, or what didn't happen. Okay, this one here that we're looking at is a ginkgo, and it's in full sun. There's nothing on top, but it's protected from that wall and then my building, so it burnt a little bit but not so bad. Sort of next to it is this Chinese elm, and I'm not sure what happened to this part here. And the thing is, a lot of times the damage will show up about a week or two later, and sometimes even later than that. But you could see that most of the trees around here in full sun was okay. Okay, the bonsai that's well protected. This has 50% shade and nothing sneaking in, so it was okay. Well, my plants are acclimated to this weather. If it had happened early, from dormant season and then sudden, then there would be a lot more damage. But we went through a fairly warm summer, so it's okay. It's got acclimated. So this ginkgo is also okay because it's protected from the afternoon sun and somewhat protected on top. And then as we swing this way, this one too, more or less like that. This one never did have much of a protection, so it's not looking really good. But I'm not going to panic, because if you look beyond the brown leaves, there's plenty of green. So I don't think the tree itself is have a big problem. Most of it is in the foliage. Here, the feminine juniper, they're tough. Over here, we're looking at the Chinese hackberry, and I think this one here, because I pruned it before the heat, it's taking a little bit of beating here. And then Chinese elms didn't have any problem, and I don't know why. Zelkobas tend to be really tough, but it's doing this funny thing here. Not a killer, it just looks funny. And then over to the right, more Chinese, no, those are olives, and they're hardy. These olives are in wooden boxes. Well, I had some leftover lumber, so I made them. But the wooden training pots are really good because they insulate better than others. Okay, on this side we got some elms. Most of it is okay. Yeah, elm, Chinese elms, olives and things like that, they take a beating. Okay, so pines, no problem. You've got to make sure it's well watered though. And I did not change my watering schedule. Everything was being watered the same, 10 minutes every day. Oh, this one here. It was not the summer heat. The watering came off before the heat, and then it's Chinese hackberry. So a lot of times they'll just come right back. It's getting to be about 3 weeks. It's not looking so good, but I still have hopes. So some more little slight damages, no big deal. Here's some of the pines. The weeds did really well. I mean, I had this thing cleaned out about a month ago, and they came right back. This is one of the Harleys. I don't think he likes the really high temperature. I don't think it was just the damage of the last heat wave. Okay, over here, okay, this is a Zalcoba. These two here, I pruned it because it really looked bad. And I don't know why. This one looks fine. These two look really bad. So I pruned it. Okay, as we look towards the back, you can see I have a grouping of boxwood. And this one here, I had just got through pruning it. And then I thought, because it's already into September, it should be fine. So I put it out here, and it caught part of the setting sun. And so it burnt a little bit. But it should come right back. I'm not worried too much. But who would have known that in September we're going to get 10 days of record heat? Okay, over here, this tree. It wasn't the heat, it was the water came off. I think that is a walnut. It should be coming right back, hopefully. It's okay, it's not like I planted it, it was the squirrels. Okay, back here. That's a camellia. It was in a little better spot. Then I moved it, and it got hot and got too much sun on it. So just moving it sometime will affect, but I didn't think it was going to be a big deal because it was getting into September. Okay, so most of these are well protected, and then what's in the sun is elm, so no big deal. But can you see behind the elm? So we're looking at one of the cypresses, and what happened on this one here was two things. It got too much sun coming in sideways, but also it was really bushy, so I thinned it out. Well, I took away all the stuff that was more hardy to the sun, so now I was exposing sort of the inside, and the heat hit, so that was a bad combination. I don't see a major problem. It should come right back. Okay, this is where I put my Niwaki and the Bonsai boxwood, Japanese boxwood. I got everything pruned except this really tall one. It seems like it was okay, except on the top where it didn't have any protection. It burnt a little bit, but nothing that's going to kill it or anything like that. Boxwoods tend to be very hardy. When you put it in the wrong condition, they don't look perfect, but chance of it dying is very slim. So these are Procumbens juniper. Other than needing pruning, they're fine. This is basically Chinese owned area. And I don't know why, but Zalcoba tends to be really hardy. But this year, a number of them did this really funny thing, changing color and just not looking really healthy. So that's some more of the mysteries. Okay, so this ginkgo is fairly well protected. There's nothing on top, but it's protected on both sides. So that's okay. Crepe myrtles just love the heat, so they just bloom right through the heat. And remember these feminine junipers that I pruned, they're protected enough, so it's fine. But crepe myrtles are striking in this heat. Oh yeah, because they do bloom, sometimes you have to kind of check, make sure that there's plenty of water. The rapid growth plus the blooming makes it need more water than normal. Okay, this is where the moderately priced, highly recommended material for beginners. Okay, most of it is okay, except I'll come around this other side and you'll see some of the damage. What it is there's a gap. See where the shade structure doesn't meet. So what happened was the sun kind of snuck in. So the sun snuck in and kind of dried these out. If I was on my toes, all I had to do was water this thing extra. These get water first thing in the morning, and then if I had gotten to it and watered it maybe in the evening, this wouldn't have happened. But see the rest of it. So you could tell that where the sun kind of snuck in sideways and then dried it out. Yeah, it's one of those microclimates that we all have to face. Everything else is fine. Okay, this section we have all this Chinese elm. Pretty nice stuff with good base, not completely ready as a bonsai, but it has a really great start. The Chinese elm, when they try to grow vigorously, sometimes they dry out. So I did take, I think twice in that 10 days or so, I went and hand watered it extra on top of my automated watering system, and it looks like it's thriving. So you really do have to make some adjustments even when you have an automated watering system, depending on the extreme weather conditions. Okay, then you can see in the back the boulevard cypresses. They're in a well protected spot, 50% shade on top, 80% in the back. So yeah, it's thriving, no damage at all. This one here has been getting a lot of attention. It's very impressive with the root flare and the exposed root in the. So yeah, but no damage here either. All these precious ones, I make sure that it's in very prime spot, well protected, so no matter what happens, you'll thrive. So over here, I did check, make sure the watering was okay after a few got stressed out or died on me. So well protected, no setting sun, everything's doing fine here. See, the back panel I think is 80%, so it's well protected. Remember my drive-through boxwood bonsai, it's no damage there. And plenty of these boulevard cypresses still all in good shape. Okay, outside the grass is doing fine. This is a citrus that Dale gave me, is doing okay. And these ginkgo, you know exactly where the sun is, right? It's burned on one side. That's where the setting sun was. Same open area. Crepe myrtle, they're thriving. They just love the heat. It was hot and dry. Okay, now we're in this pine section. There was a few almost ran into a problem, but I've been checking the watering system a little bit better than some of my previous years. So everything's looking good. Other than we will be pruning these. So there will be another chapter on pruning Niwaki pines. So I'm shooting this video about 4 days after our record heat, and I was saying that sometimes the damage doesn't show up for a while, but generally I think everything looks pretty good. So as I say goodbye to you, I'm just looking at things that need to be pruned again. Now that it's cooling down. Today is going to be in the 70s with a nice breeze. You could tell by the interference in the mic, right? The wind noise. Well, that's what happens. So look at this one here, really needs to be pruned. So anyway, I'll get to that probably in another month. So we're in the middle of September. Just gotten over the record heat for 10 days, and now it's starting to cool down. In fact, today we might start to get rain, which will be ideal and sort of different. Okay, so this is Hero saying goodbye. This has been a chapter on possible damages after a heat wave. Goodbye, I'll see you again real soon.